Hey, what's going on everyone? This is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 26.3. Now this update is currently on its second beta, and it has been since December. It's actually over a month now since we have started this beta cycle for iOS 26.3, and it's really interesting as Apple is actually delaying the releases of the new betas for iOS 26.3 over a month, just two betas. And this week we had actually been expecting Apple to release the beta 3, but it didn't happen. Most likely it will come on Monday, or most likely that will be actually the day that Apple releases the RC version, because I don't expect any more betas for iOS 26.3, and hopefully with a public release very soon. It could actually happen even as soon as Wednesday, the same day that Apple will release the new Creator Studio package. So in today's video we're taking a look at this update, and I will show you guys everything new with iOS 26.3, everything that you will get on your iPhone once you update to the new iOS 26.3. Now, there is not a lot of new features on this update, but of course there are a few, and here's what's new with iOS 26.3. First of all, let's talk about features. One really interesting one that will actually be useful for a lot of people will be the ability to quickly transfer from iPhone to Android, just like you do with iPhone to iPhone, which you know is a very easy process. Now you can actually do that with Android as well. So you go to the general settings, and then right here under transfer and reset iPhone, you will have a section that says transfer to Android. You tap right there, and it shows you the instructions on how you can actually transfer your stuff from your iPhone to Android. Place the devices next to each other just like you do with iPhones, and then you will have right here all the things that you need to actually go ahead and transfer. If you need to learn more, you can go ahead and tap right here. It will take you to Apple support, where you can learn everything you need to actually transfer your iPhone to your Android device. Now with iOS 26.3, Apple has added a couple of new features that are exclusive to EU. Hopefully that will come soon to US and other places as well. Now one of them will be notifications forwarding. Now that feature actually has been available for everyone with the first beta, but then they removed it with the second beta, and it looks like for now it will be only available to users in EU. So basically you go to notifications, and right here on the screen sharing you will have a section for notifications forwarding. This will allow you to forward your notifications to third party like watches or stuff like that. So third party accessories that you have connected, you will be able to actually forward notifications from the iPhones to those devices. Now another feature that Apple has added with this update that is also exclusive to EU is a new AirPods like pairing system for the third-party devices. Again, this is on EU as just for EU currently. Hopefully these features will come to other places. Now you know EU and Japan as well have gotten some exclusive features based on their legislation, which are actually really good, and hopefully those will come soon to other devices as well, especially the one in Japan where you can replace Siri on the side button here and just basically have any assistant you want. That would be really awesome. Hopefully that's coming really soon. Now with iOS 26.3, we also get a new feature for RCS messages. End-to-end encrypted RCS messages are here with iOS 26.3. This feature has actually been found on the code of iOS 26.3, and it should actually make a huge difference when it comes to RCS messaging. So if you use that feature on your iPhone, this will actually be a huge update. Next up are the wallpapers. Now Apple has made a change here to the weather wallpaper. So it used to be astronomy and weather. Now they're actually separated, and you will find two different sections when you go to add a new wallpaper. So there will be one for astronomy and also one for the weather wallpapers. And now that we know all the cool new features coming to iOS 26.3, let's quickly talk about some other things that are really important, like the battery, of course. So let's go ahead and take a look at the battery usage that we're getting here. And you can see right here, this is basically what we're getting with iOS 26.3 beta 2. So right here, 7 hours on 129% battery usage, 8 hours 107, 121 right there, 7 hours 41 minutes, and then right here 125, 8 hours 45 minutes. So on average, I'm getting here about 7.5 hours on screen, 7 to 7.5 hours on screen with 100% battery usage. Now you have to keep in mind that this battery is currently at 83% battery health. So taking a look at that and the hours that I'm getting here on this battery, it is actually quite good. Maybe a bit better than iOS 26.2, at least in my experience, and I have been using this update on my device since December now, since beta 1, since day 1, I have been using it, and I didn't actually have any problems with battery drain or something like that. The performance is also great. Taking a look at the numbers here, 3013 on the single core score, while 7713 on the multi-core score. This is actually a great performance here in numbers, but also just using the update on daily basis, you will actually find it pretty smooth. It runs really well. There's no overheating problems in my device here. It actually is quite good. I didn't have the device heat a lot and any time since beta 1, so overall the performance is really good, and of course very smooth as well. And now let's talk about the release dates. We're currently on the second beta, and most likely there will be an RC after this. Apple has gone 2 weeks without releasing a new beta, and I don't think they will go with a third beta for iOS 26.3. Now that in mind, I hope and I expect Apple to release the RC on Monday, and I wouldn't be surprised if they actually release iOS 26.3 to the public the same week, and that most likely could be Wednesday, January 28th. That's the day of the release of the new Apple Creator Studio, and I would expect Apple to also release iOS 26.3 that day. If that doesn't happen, then most likely February the 2nd will be the time that Apple releases iOS 26.3. Now, in the meantime, there will be, of course, other updates. There is also a chance that we might get iOS 26.2.1. That update has already been tested by Apple. It has been spotted on the web, but it's really interesting what Apple is doing with iOS 26 releases. Also, iOS 26.1.1 was spotted being tested by Apple internally, but they never released it. So this time it looks like the same thing will happen. Even though it has been tested, I'm not expecting it to be released because most likely iOS 26.3 will be out now in a matter of days. Now, what I'm expecting Apple to do is release the first beta of iOS 26.4, and in my opinion, that will happen on the first week of February. And that's actually quite a big update. It will bring the new overhauled Siri and will add a lot of new features and changes to iOS 26.26. That's actually quite an exciting update. So that's basically it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and you found it helpful. If you did, smash that like button and of course subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.